Three, two, and one. You're on.
Hello and welcome to Angora Poets, the World Cafe, a broadcast out of Paris and receiving poets from the four corners of our planet. So, planet, we're on. And tonight we have a nice series of poets, which we will be getting around to one by one. And why don't we begin with welcoming everybody on board? Hello, everybody. Looking forward to this again. And what else can we say? Not too much new about Angora, except for those of you who are going to watch this later in the week as we put it on Angora Poets YouTube. You'll notice that we are now making a direct link to YouTube, to our website, and to our Facebook page so that we can be found quickly and easily. Because one, we have video recordings, and then we do the Zoom, and we have some great photos of you and others over the years. So we've been lucky enough to have some good photographers taking pictures of all of you. So, and I want to say, last week we put up the video, and last week our featured poet from a group of where every poet is a feature. So last week the featured poet was Jane Spoken Word. Thanks, Jane. And that's what we do. When I started this series, I realized with the invités that every poet is a feature. So rather than try to get into some kind of ranking by default or passive aggression or whatever, it's just like on any given night, you'll want to hear one of these people at great length. And that's the quality of the group. So I would like to start this program off. And since we are July 5th, which is a notable 24 hours after our quote Independence Day, I think there's no better person to ask to start this evening than the judge. The judge from Jersey sitting here in Paris, Bill Strangmeyer. Hello, Bill.
Hey, Mo.
Yo, Bill.
Yeah, well, nothing political tonight. I'm giving the country a day off. Okay, I call this Firstborn. First time I saw you wet and red and oh so beautiful, I felt the flood of tenderness like I'd never felt before. We took you to be washed, a nurse and I, with the focus of all time on you. I think she may have been beautiful, that nurse. She paled next to you. Tinkly piano music in the hall, and I promised piano lessons. You screamed and wept until I said, but only if you want. The nurses fought for the right to take care of you, coddle you. Full head of hair, some said, was predicted by your mother's indigestion. From then on, I love it all, the privilege of you, the soft and the hard. I loved how you were so smart when we were pals and played together. Older when my sister laughed through tears at your lost baby teeth, so big since last she'd seen you. And bigger then on holiday at a beach town, serious and happy, proud of your opinions. Such a good week. And then the wrong school, evil teacher, bad classmates, the start of a bad adolescence. And sometimes I cried from your pain. The bad Spanish teacher, and I was on crutches and couldn't have done what I now almost wish that I had, busted open his satisfied head. Sometimes teaching attracts sadistic psychopaths and those who just hate kids. You hated me sometimes. I never hated you. I feared for your future, hoped you safe. Another one I wished to hit, but that bad boyfriend pointed you towards life. And now I see you grown, responsible and cool, in short, a woman on her way. It's been so good, so bad, so hard, so easy, and a precious treasure in my life.
All right, Billy. Does this woman know you've written about her?
No, it's my daughter.
Oh, okay. Has your daughter read this poem?
No, but I'll give it to her.
That'll read very intimate. Very nice. How about number two, Mr. Bill?
I call this Tualula Secunda. Little monster, square and white like a Teletubby freak show, wrapped up like a baby mummy, chrysalis of beauty. Soon you became so cute in athletics. Little kids can do so much. I've watched you master your poor loser temper, learn how to be. 3 little boys once came up from downstairs to plead the cause of one. They couldn't grasp a father's job. I gently told the other 2 it wasn't nice to embarrass their cousin like that, and didn't relay the candidature. I've seen how all your friends adore you, how you try to make things smooth, in appearance like me, but as a girl and with a better nature. But life is different for girls and different here from where I'm from. Still seeking like I was at your same age and loving life more than career. Your being you has made life sweet. You are a jewel, tall girl of mine. And now you too are grown. Where are my babies gone? I love to see you going on and hope the future treats you well. You're better than your doubts. You're better than this made-up world. I hope you come to make your terms, extract the gold from this common ore, and never let them dull you down. Don't let them choose when you know best.
Is that also to your daughter?
That's my second daughter.
Okay.
Puelula seconda is Latin for
Lucky daughter.
is Latin for second little girl.
Okay. How about freeze the charm, Bill?
Okay, I call this a coin. We've seen the something in the jawbone marking age. The lucid baby glows, evaporating, pure. Then grosser luminescence lets the young abjure the jaw light that's not there nor in one's crumpled cage. Have others seen deflated masks, uncrumpled dead? Strange monkey rites surround the actions of the soul. The small salute the senior, and drunks deny their role. With waning moss glow is the death beast slowly fed. The cunning birds may drown in song some unfelt lack, as I might sing when out of touch with husk or core, by calling up caressing quirks caressing me. The ropes that bind can set me lost by going slack, but can I drop the stone to see what I adore? My son, I set you free. My father, you are free. That's it.
Thanks a million, Bill.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Bill. Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Thanks.
Mo, you muted. Unmute.
This can't let you go without asking. This one was between father and son, and you don't have a son, or it's just written to your father.
To my father.
Okay.
Well, it's
All right.
about life, you know. You see babies, and then you see them grow up, and then you see people that you knew young grow old. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So, all right. So next, we want to call on the man with 2 faces here, the man with split screen personality. With such has been said about this man before in the past.
Father, forgive me. Forgive
So
us.
I'd like to call up a poet, David Leo Siwa. Hello, David.
Thank you so much. Hope you can hear me okay. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I can't. Okay, I'm back.
We can hear you
And
just
we're
fine,
back.
my brother.
Okay, thanks so much. This is called The Ghost Warm Words.
Nice. Nice.
More than can. Oh, okay, sorry. More than can be measured are. One sec. I'm back. More than can be measured are broad bandwidths of consciousness, whose ceaseless waves of unseen light I pour through your ready blood, strum hidden strings of bones that sing, and ring the dead bell of your heart again. I push raw power through your limbs and lead your pen to paint poetry on pages of twilight sky blue ink. As I write on the David Sirois, As I wrote on the photo in your dream, with the plain wooden frame and without glass, that blurred picture of a golden figure of light no living being could comprehend, that caused a pause in your breath. When all the inner obstacles fall away, you naturally enjoy the highest state. You repeated it in the dream and continued well after waking. David, you can dismantle what you've made. Enclosures of stone or faded brick, dams which inhibit the unbridled inner river of your power. What you fear most is your own freedom. Yesterday you prayed, Lord, please take away my anger. Remember the answer you heard afterward. In order for me to take away your anger, you'd have to let go of it first. The attachment to anger, one of the last ecstatic sacrifices. Now draw from the well within you a silence that brings your whole being into balance. Stillness is the secret root of poetry. May mantras tame your wild mind so you can hear the faintest whisper of light above the darkened garden of despondent thought. No effort toward the light is ever lost.
I love it. I do. I do most sincerely love any reference toward the light. So,
Thank you, Mo.
really, because
Shall I?
the light is mentioned in pagan rituals. The light is mentioned in sacred scriptures. The light is there. So you're right. Number
Thanks.
two, Mr. Oh, I'm
Number
sorry.
two. Oh, my first poetry workshop teacher said the greatest poems in history are about light. And he mentioned Milton and Dante. All right. This is a pigeon poem I sent to Light Poetry Magazine, which David Jaggard let me know about. A little pain never hurt anyone, so I stand in aluminum rain, far from hometown Madawaska, Maine, to stare at parked park pigeons huddled under shiny wings below a leafy umbrella. They fold their heads into their chests, showing half the yogic skill of turtles who withdraw fully from sight. Divine light draws them deep inside, wishing for visions of pigeon heaven. I wish I were a pigeon, less than low maintenance, maintenance free. Wish my neck was as plump as theirs. It's hard to hold my head up with this heavy ego. I strike a pose to keep my poise.
Now, all I want to hear now is groovy.
Groovy.
Ah!
I have a third if you wish. It's short. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Please.
This is called Looker. This handsome pigeon, looking smart in his silver gray suit, pinstriped. He frequents singles sites, embellishing his height and the growing group of books he merely has. Jigs he's played and all the starry hands he's ever shaken. The description of his interestingness continues to lengthen. Like any other singer, he awaits that big break, almost patient about cooing into future groupies' ears. His personal profile is clear, sensitive, creative, oh so humble gentleman with wings.
Let's hear it for the bird. Let's hear it for the bird. All right.
Oh, thanks,
And,
guys.
And I'll try to think of it in advance. One evening in the near future, we will do back-to-back pigeon poems. You
I
see,
love it.
David had a standout collection of poems topical on pigeons. And I had written one poem called Pigeon English. And so,
Yes, I remember. I loved it.
okay, so
And
we'll
my
have to
book
do
is
that.
called Humble Doves.
Okay,
They are humble doves.
all right. All right, a word on the bird. Thank you, David. All right. So let's switch languages now. Change le langage, bilingue maintenant. J'appelle Dalila. Hello, Dalila. Bonjour, Dalila.
You would
Oui.
have to unmute. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. How are you?
We're good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We hear you loud and clear.
Just wonderful. Oui, ça va?
Ça va.
Are you calling me?
Yes.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn, and we would love to hear.
I tell you.
Okay, I realized that I was always writing terrible, very sad
Oh, no.
so I'm going to introduction in English to explain why I wrote this poem. Marcel Proust, a French writer, developed the notion of la Madeleine de Proust in his writing of novels. While eating a Madeleine, one of the characters felt very happy, for it made him remember a good moment in the past. The idea of this poem came to my mind because very often I remember sufferings and I write to feel good. But I'm tired of writing despair. I looked for memories in the notion of memory in its relation to happiness. This poem tells about the good moments spent with my father, who used to take me and my sisters for happy walks, despite the war. The Algerian war. So it's in French. Pourtant, the title is Pourtant nous étions en guerre. Doux souvenirs du passé, paysages de printemps, d'été, des champs de coquelicots, longues promenades avec notre père. Un être exceptionnel, au visage souriant, regard perdu dans l'horizon infini, observant, absorbant l'immensité des hauts plateaux verdoyants et sereins. Communion des esprits, papa, nous, enfants heureux dans les champs, jouant, courant, riant, cueillant bouquets de boutons d'or et de coquelicots, transmission du savoir sans mot dire, apprendre à observer le lointain, éducation douce et silencieuse, fixer le visage joyeux de papa.
Okay. Happy walk is a good walk. Yeah. Happy walk is a good walk. All
Very
right.
nice. Very nice.
And I like what you said about memory, because I read the pop psychology info that our memory is anything but accurate, and our memory comes to us in ways that we reshape it. And I felt like, what do you mean? It's very challenging, that information. Our memory just reshapes what really happened. But in your case, it must have been very authentic. No doubt about it. In mine, on the other
Yeah,
hand,
I
it
agree
should be.
with you. We sometimes we idealized maybe the good childhood and so on and so on.
Okay. Do you have a second piece for us?
But it's sad.
Well, we're poets. We're used to it.
Part of our resume.
Okay, what I should tell, this poem, I wrote it years ago, but it came back because I don't know if you heard about the news, what is happening between Algeria and France yesterday.
Tell us.
No?
Tell us.
During the colonization, French soldiers took des crânes.
The crown.
Heads.
Oh, the
No,
head?
heads.
Okay.
And they put them in the museum in Paris, Musée de l'Homme. And the whole discussion for years was how to get back these crânes.
Skulls.
So yesterday, yes. So yesterday, they brought them back, and with a lot of solemn official presentation. And I really cried. And I think I was not the only one who cried. And I remember I wrote a poem I'm going to tell you about. During the war, my brother, a militant, was taken into prison. We were unable to find him. We were children and we were participating. And very often it was my mother who was looking for her son all partout. So we kept looking until the Independence Day. We discovered that he was killed, fusillé. We buried him officially, decently. And years later, I took my little daughter, to visit him in the Victims of War cemetery. I wanted her to know the history, the family history. So the poem is called Visite au cimetière des Shuhada. Les Shuhada are those who died for the country. De retour au bled, après une très longue absence, je voulais aller au cimetière des martyrs, les Shuhada, me recueillir sur la tombe de mon frère. Je voulais aussi lui présenter ma petite fille. J'ai emmené ma fille pour qu'elle sache. Nous sommes rentrés et cherchions tout doucement le nom de Brahim Seager, fusillé pendant la guerre d'Algérie. Il y avait beaucoup de tombes, une grande quantité, toutes de la même couleur. Nous marchions d'allée en allée, nous nous étions partagés le travail. Nous nous interpellions et rien, on ne trouvait toujours pas le nom. Nous lisions, j'ai reconnu certains amis à mon frère, Gassab, Bourarda, Mohammed Boukharrouba. Puis ma fille m'interpelle. Et puis en prononçant ces noms, en les lisant, mais pour elle, ils sont inconnus. En fait, mon frère n'avait pas de nom. Il était enterré comme d'autres tombes anonymes. Il était classé comme mort pour la patrie. Et en arabe, c'est Min ajli al-watan, min ajli al-watan. We were walking and reading Min ajli al-watan, min ajli al-watan. Que de souvenirs remontent à ma mémoire douloureuse. Et je le vois fort, courageux et toujours actif. Larmes, larmes, larmes. Merci.
Tears, tears, tears. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Wow. Thank you. And do you have a 3 is a charm for us, Dalila?
Oui, oui. Mais c'est triste toujours. C'est terrible.
No, it's okay. We're used to it.
This poem, the third one, deals with the terrible suffering I went through at my sister's death. La mort de ma sœur. Douleur triste, douleur extrême, douleur terrible, où me mènes-tu? Pourquoi, folle, me fais-tu si mal? Je ne vois plus rien, tout me devient toi, tout me paraît n'être que toi. Je ne vois plus rien, peur de voir encore et encore. Je suis épuisée de vivre, te voir t'étaler, t'exprimer, des larmes les plus profondes, de la plus aiguë des torsions du corps. Au rire le plus fou, la peur envahit mon âme. Vivre me semble être une grande déchirure. Peur soudaine de voir encore souffrir ce que j'aime. Terreur, peur de les perdre à jamais dans cet inaccessible, dans cet inconnu inaccessible. La mort. Pourquoi me fais-tu entrevoir d'autres douleurs possibles? Implacable mort, tu m'as volé ma sœur chérie. Mémoire, tu oublies. Souvenir amer, le refus de vivre. Souvenir de peur de continuer à vivre, à croire, à aimer. Sentiment ancien, sentiment nouveau. Laisse-moi vivre ce que je peux vivre. Thank you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Unmute, Mr. Mo. Unmute, sir.
I tell you. Well, I just want to repeat, thank you very much. That was very touching. And we'll see you in the second round. That's what I want to say about that. What can you say? Amen. Okay, so I would like to move over now and switch from your continent to the East Coast of the USA and ask to hear from Jane, a spoken word. Hello, Jane.
Yeah, nice to be here today. My first piece was inspired by Bill's pieces. So I quickly looked at my files and I found this piece that I wrote 47 years ago. And it's a piece to my son. The beat, beat, beat of your heart's time, honeysuckle scent of my sweet baby's breath, feeling tiny fingers that fist around mine as the heaviness of your relax falls asleep upon my chest. 369, the goose drank wine. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna sing you a lullaby. B-A-Bay, B-I-Bye, B-I biggie bye. Knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. You are mine to teach and to love, to shine your light and preach you truths, and read you books and dry your tears and feed your head and dispel your fears. And I'll keep watch as you grow past time to the older soul of my little boy sublime, singing the songs of warriors and children's dreams, exploring the world in a yellow submarine. Go out and live your life with no fear, but remember, other voices have your ear. Keep your heart true and your mind sharp as a tack. Pay attention, stay focused, and always watch your back. For you have been schooled and you know where it's at. You are mine to teach and to love, and preach you truths, and read you books, and dry your tears, and feed your head, and dispel your fears. And I'll keep watch as you grow through time to the older soul of my little boy sublime. Always love your brothers. Always love your sisters. All you need is love, and I love you. For my son, Miles.
All right, that's nice.
Thank you.
And he is aware of that poem?
I sent it to him on his 45th birthday, and it blew him away. I had never read it to him.
Well, you got me confused because I'm thinking you're 45.
Aren't you sweet?
Yeah, I'm calling it like I see it now, Jane.
Well, I am totally appreciating it also.
All right.
No, my son is a hip hopper. He lives in New York City, and he sends me all these hip hop hats that I wear to keep me close.
Oh, nice. Okay, do you have a second for us, please?
I do have a second piece, and it's a piece from my newest book. It'll be backwards, but it says, Word Against the Machine. And the piece is called Bang You're Dead. I started it many, many years ago, and it was like a paragraph long. And after all these years, it's a good page and a half. It's called Bang You're Dead. What is wrong with people? Women and children are running in fear from men so cruel and anger-fueled, committing atrocities that bring us to tears, killing one another over man God rules. Men in soldier suits with guns and tanks, and men with lies upon their lips as they drank to bloody victories of now and when. Men in fresh pressed suits, making war, pushing paper and pen. Didn't you hear what Marvin said? Mercy, mercy me, when will it end? In the cities, they run past the bullets that fly, or lost in the desert, they waste away and die of thirst. When ancient water jars are burst, where children are bought, fucked, and worked till they're dead or they're grown, it's a planetary shame on you. It's all about skin tone. Cambodia, Rwanda, Sudan, Tibet, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Ferguson, and all the rest. Haven't you had enough yet? War is from the ancient mind of then. War is just inhuman. When will it end? What is wrong with people? Oh, haven't you heard? Their God has instructed them. They got the word. To reap the rewards, you must kill the infidels, blow them off the face of the earth and send them all to hell. And for all you good preachers who love the sinner but hate the sin, preaching from your pulpit, spewing lies from deep within of hate and intolerance, though Jesus loves you nonetheless. You think you're on the highway to heaven because your sins in the dark you did confess? War comes from the ancient mind of then. War is just inhuman. When will it end? In the name of a Muslim jihad or a Bible-thumping Christian crusade, as long as it's your version of God, then you're happy, regardless of the mess that you've made in your God's name. Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Jews, they all throw their dice in deadly war games. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, millions of dead motherfuckers just the same. When you get to the gates of your vision of heaven, will your God make you pay for all the death and destruction and hatred of others? What will your God say? All the wars of all the religions of all the gods will fall when we realize that we are all true spirits, regardless of the words that you call. So I'm reminded of a word I believe George Carlin said. Do you believe in God? Answer yes. Please do move ahead. Do you believe in my God? Answer no. Then bang, you're dead.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's
What is wrong with people?
yeah, really. I don't have those problems with plants and animals.
Word.
I see why people get attached to dogs and cats anymore.
Yes, true love.
Do you have another one for us, Jane?
Yes, I'll leave you on a nicer, lighter note.
No, it's your call, Jane. It's everybody's call.
All right. This piece is called Zen Beats. When the day is worn out tired and the sun surrenders her fire to the sea, the consciousness of night is dark exile, to smile the smile of a billion stars that fly through glass smooth sky, gifting galaxies with glimmered lights and abstract songs of Zen beats from the birth of creation. I am just a visitor, chasing poems out of the dark. My words are rhymes of endless days and sleepless nights and seas that lie beyond the endless void of full moons that dance with stars that fly beyond the place where illusions are slain. Reality blurs the same. Visions unseen, born from the dream that is my dream. In the time when diamonds turn to dust to deliver the soul of the day, tell me where your freedom lies. Peace, y'all.
All right, peace back. All right. Thanks, Jane. Very nice. OK. Et maintenant, je change encore, je change le langage. Je parle sur un poète, un senior poète de Paris, active, okay, for you, active on the French poetry scenes, and also a participant contributor to our 100,000 Poets for Change that we do once a year. So I would like to call on Yves Marie. Bonjour Yves Marie, salut.
Bonjour.
À vous, monsieur poète, à vous.
D'accord. Okay, so, well, I'm going to sing you a song that I wrote in the 90 something, in the 90s. It was just a little after the fall of the Berlin Wall. And this was a song which was made for a film of one of my friends, Joseph Morder. And I made two versions. And one of the versions was in English, so I'm going to sing you a cappella. I never did that, but I'm going to do it for you. And it's called Europa. Because at that time we were very positive, enthusiastic about what would become, Europe. I little changed my mind, but here is the song. It's a really funky cocktail, sparkling in her eyes, pouring in the air a wind of change, whispered in our ears, seeking new identity, impression rising sun, feeling free like a child in love in a volcanic dancing, in a volcanic dancing. Berlin, Barcelona, Roma, and Lisbon, Dublin, Paris, London, Brussels, our kingdom. European, European, European. We're all European. Liebe, love, amour, amor. Cultural kaleidoscope. Like a multi-wagon slow train. Running through the wall of future. At the turning point, Charlie. Yo, 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 yeah, yeah. Yo, 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 yeah, yeah. Can be just a graffiti or a precious joy setting the coronavirus. Let's go again. European, European, European. We're all European. Voilà.
Okay, all right. Wow. Eve Marie, I did not know two things. I did not know you spoke so much English, and I'm glad to hear you sing.
Thank you.
Do you have a second piece for us?
Yes, yes. Just a minute. Let me. I think. Non, ça, je me suis trompé. Toc, 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 toc. Hop, 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 hop.
And while Eve is looking for his poem, it's appropriate to mention that he and I and Angora Poets are members of a one-year established group in Paris, a unity group between poetry groups called La Fédération de Poètes. And Eve is a frequent poet on that scene. I participate. I, as a member of Angora Poets, is on the planning committee. It's called La Fédération de Poètes. So you can catch them on their Facebook page, Fédération de Poètes, to say it more clearly. And if you're in Paris, I've brought English language presenters and musicians on that stage, and they are well received. Okay, Eve, back to you.
So the next one is called, excuse me, next one is called Tomorrow, the Next World. It's of course about what we all lived the last 2 months. Nous avons des lendemains qui dépendent de nous tous, en rejetant ces mots à l'endroit, à l'envers, masquant l'incompétence alors que la vie tousse. Ils aimeraient revenir à cette vie d'hier, mais c'est un autre monde qu'il nous faut inventer. Demain, c'est aujourd'hui, car le temps est compté. On se demande parfois s'ils sont tous ventriloques à claironner un jour la vérité d'hier. On est à flux tendu, il ne faut pas de stock, il ne faut pas de masque dans un monde en guerre. Et nous voilà soudain, confrontés à la mort, comme une lame tranchante coupant dans notre lard. Jamais la roue du temps ne pourra s'inverser, car cette terre qui tourne engendrant ses semailles demande de savoir comment la respecter et qu'aucune semence ne pousse sous la mitraille. Jardinons l'espérance, oubliant la vitesse, repoussons calmement les sirènes de l'ivresse, accompagnons le temps vers un autre demain, loin des ponces pilates qui s'en lavent les mains. Demain, c'est maintenant, cette urgence est cruciale. Revenons à ces mots de justice sociale ou solidarité comme valeur première. La qualité de l'eau ou bien celle de l'air sont bien plus importantes que l'argent de papier. Pour certains, on le sait, ce ne sont que des mots. Et ils viennent tranquilles devant nous faire les beaux pour nous faire avaler un monde, un gâteau avarié. Je sais bien que je m'énerve. C'est pas la solution. Qu'on voudrait que ça change, qu'on voudrait que ça fonctionne. Que l'argent, même en sauce, provoque l'indigestion, sans compter, il faut faire gaffe à ce que l'on consomme. Les poisons sont partout, surtout dans nos croyances. Si penser que demain sera la bienveillance, parfois, dans leurs caresses, il y a de la violence. On se contente trop souvent de leurs condoléances. Savez-vous bien qu'en Europe, il y a chaque année tués par la pollution 700 000 personnes. Notre monde, déjà, nous empoisonne. Est-il bien raisonnable de vouloir le retrouver? Il faut réinventer notre monde d'après-demain. C'est aujourd'hui. Le temps nous est compté.
Oui, bravo, je comprends bien. Merci. The time is now. Yes, the time is now. All right. And this is your first time with us, Eve Marie, on Zoom. You've been with Angora Poets in place. We asked, do you have a third poem?
Yes. Yes. Just
All right.
a minute. Yes, I will be here. So this is really the last one because I finished to write it today. And it's called Les mots brouillards, foggy words, I think, something like that. It's about the power of word and especially of negative words that can poison us. Tous ces mots qu'on entend tricotent dans nos mémoires et qui aimeraient raconter les mêmes vieilles histoires. Jongleurs de rhétorique et bretteurs de façade, tous ces mots s'en mêlent et me liment l'âme. Et puis, il y a toi et tous ces mots que je n'ai jamais su dire. Et les voilà qui tombent encore ballant dans l'ombre, des paquets de vie qui dansent tout flou, tout mou, sans goût dans la brume des larmes. Oui, j'ai des mots brouillards qui jouent à qui perd gagne. Petit matin miroir pour un jour qui s'ennuie, pour des nuits qui s'enfuient au petit matin blême. Sans mémoire de l'avant, sans idée de l'après, je ne veux pas comprendre avec l'oubli des rêves, fracassés sur des murs et quelques poussières d'heures. Sous la console du temps, la cire des bougies qui fondent comme la neige, tu sais, ces dunes blanches, ces glaciers qui s'effondrent là-bas, dans le lointain, pas droit à la parole, on ne les entend pas. Et soudain, je me souviens de leurs mots prisonniers d'une vieille chanson parlant de liberté. C'est les mots de ma mère avant de nous quitter. La tête penchée en arrière, les yeux plissés de lumière, tranquillement, tranquillement. Elle a dit des mots tout simples qui coulaient comme de l'eau claire, tout doucement, tout doucement. Vivre libre est une chance, un bonheur que l'on gagne chaque jour. La vérité n'a pas besoin de discours, elle se vit tous les jours. La liberté est un cœur que l'on cueille au jour le jour, infiniment, infiniment. Éviter les pièges de la vie avec le sourire, se dire que l'on est bien vivant. Vivre libre est une chance, un bonheur que l'on gagne chaque jour. La vérité n'a pas besoin de discours, elle se vit tous les jours. Libre et debout dans la tempête, le sourire sur les lèvres. Voilà.
Voilà, c'est bien, c'est bon. Merci. Keep liberty in your heart every day. I agree. I agree. Okay. Now, Eve, we will do a second round, and I would like, of course, for you to stay and participate in the second round, as we do for everyone. Okay. So thank you, Eve, and thank you for. It's very nice of you to present in both English and French. I really appreciate your effort. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now I would like to appreciate the efforts of, oh, look who's, Benedicta. How are you tonight? Come on, unmute, girl.
Hi.
Hey, hey.
How are you?
We're good. Glad you could
I've
join us.
missed you.
We missed you last week.
Yes, I was at work.
Yeah, okay, good.
Today I'm off duty. I hope my sound is clear.
It's very clear tonight.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, we will get to you to present. So welcome on board. Okay, so for the moment now, I'd like to invite someone who's new, also first time on Angora Poets, and his name is Merwin. And how are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing fine. Just left Paris this morning. Back to
wow. And you didn't call.
Like I said, if I knew. But we just moved here 4 months ago, so hopefully there'll be plenty of trips back and forth.
Where have you relocated?
I live in a town called Shop, which is near Kaiserslautern, about maybe 40 minutes from Saarbrücken.
Okay. Okay, well, we're ready to hear you present, Mervin.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna start with a piece called What a Child Sees. Children do not receive the cause. Children see the effects. Christmas at 9, an American military man in England we would call stepfather gave us plentiful pleasants, gave mom security when she worked at night, taking my brother and I to see Convoy, doubled with X-rated movie, visions that brought a 9-year-old unease. By 11 in America, I received pitiful presents. He connected to us with food, fishing at local lakes and rivers, hours on weekends, eating overfished schools of bluegill too small. Shot a rock with his slingshot, killing a robin. Furry, idolized robin falling, the thump off a telephone wire outside our home. Deep fried it, telling me it tasted like chicken, choking up when he made me try. Our house was much smaller, finances depleting. Tequila, beer, and cognac's rent was paid in our home. Mommy had 2 jobs. We rarely saw her. I felt inside my mommy was happy. I was taught to be seen. A limpid chameleon, silent observations, invisible. Knots in a crocheted blanket, a braille language taking years to read.
Okay, yeah. Welcome on board. Woo. Okay,
So,
can I ask you first? Oh, Go ahead.
I was going to say, to give a little context, so my life is like constantly moving globally. So I was born in England, born in London. My family is Jamaican, migrated to England back in the 50s. My stepfather was in the Air Force and moved us to America in 1980. So this was a part of a collection of that transition to America.
Okay, yeah, that's worldly. Can you give us a second piece, please?
Yep. Okay. So this is dedicated to those men that came, or those families that came over with Windrush, which was named after the first Caribbean ship that migrated to England after World War II to help England get back on its feet. Play your cards, man, or pass, spouted the gruff old Jamaican accent of my father. My partner at this moment. Cards referred to the domino pieces. My father smiled, showing off the pride of his son with friends. Generations which flocked the Windrush ship, migrating as English citizens that built brick by brick of crumbled England, Humpty Dumpty in Hitler's great war, from bombed walls of homes and hospitals, puzzle pieces stripped from the picture. My father's generation filling the blue-collared labor, taking England off an IV. They were not loved in England. These men grinding in factories, running the railways, sweeping the streets, these men content in this pub next to my father at the domino table, wrinkled, gray, as foggy cigarette smoke with stories, drinking pints of lager and rum.
Yeah, okay. All right. And I just want to ask, your accent sounds American and your heritage is Jamaican, English, American. How does that sit in your head? Are you, in fact, a serious question, do you feel like in your head an international, or as people who travel might?
So you heard in the first poem, I referred to myself as a chameleon. And like, if I'm in England more than 2 weeks, the accent comes back. If I'm in Jamaica, then the accent comes back. Even if I'm around my friends from college in Tennessee, then I start to speak like them. So it's a molding change. I mean, I lived in the States where I met Karen for 8 years in Ohio, but before that I was living in Japan doing stuff with some other Japanese poets. So it's been a constant. Usually I don't live places longer than 5 years, so I was the biggest, but it's just always feeling more like the chameleon. But international, I guess I've lived in different countries enough where I think the difference is understanding the problems of each culture to be able to speak to it, as opposed to just traveling to each country and speaking to it from that one culture. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, it makes real good sense.
Right.
Okay.
Where did you go to college in Tennessee?
So I went to University of Tennessee in Chattanooga and then in Knoxville.
Okay, I went to Maryville College.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Which is like 20 miles from UT Knoxville.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, Marvin,
Another volunteer.
by the way, Marvin, I just wanted to let you know that I emphasized with you when you said that you were a chameleon. I tend to lapse with accents as well, depending on the community that I hang out with. And I'm not sure if the appropriate term is international or a globalized citizen or whatnot, but really I'm having a hard time identifying statically with anything except with the people around me. So I really appreciated when you phrased the word chameleon.
Yeah. Thank you.
And we can appreciate what we call three is a charm, Mervin.
So you'll really appreciate this one piece then. This last piece that I decided to end with after the 4th of July. So, when do I become American? Okay. When do I become American? Not the denominations in the church, fragmented bits based on colors, continents, countries, or a dead language. White American, lowercase, Black American, Trini American, Omani American, Turkish American, African American, Latin American. Perhaps after the police stopped me, ripped pants, skinned cuts on my bended knees. Perhaps after my military deployment divided from family, my Humvee flipping on improvised explosion. Perhaps after engagements with American tsunami rescue teams pursuing murmurs, bumps, a hand under the rubble. Perhaps after each juncture, I saluted dead soldiers in England. I saluted dead soldiers in France. I saluted a dead soldier in Tuskegee. Perhaps while a flag is folded, 7 rifles in unison resound against a silent wind with explosive echo, 3 revolutions over my grave.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. That's deep. That's one way to collect and corral the various experiences, the identification experiences. Yeah. You see,
That's powerful.
America, yeah. Historically, what we tend to forget is America is actually a very young country. It was only settled some nearly 500 years ago, which makes it rather young compared to countries in Africa, Europe, and Asia, you know, even Oceania. So I remember that because, you know, when will I be this American, that American, Latino American, yanina? America is still trying to find itself, and it thinks because it made so much progress in other areas, rightfully so, in technology, in music, in Hollywood. But along the way, it grapples, and not really consciously, with the fact it's still a young country at the forge of building itself as one nationality. And it's obvious we are having some deep-seated problems with that nationality. So I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Okay. So since we had someone who also went to university in Tennessee, that prompts me to call on our poet living here in Paris now from Lesotho originally, Mr. Rhett Masilio. Hello, Rhett.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. So we're ready to hear from you, my friend.
Let's go, Rhett. Let's go.
Okay, 3 little poems. The long cold. Some of the men I did eat, while others I discarded, pushed them aside in my plate like peas. Small night marksmen who came with nocturnal equipment to shoot slumber out of our rooms. I sought those who were truly great, who carried themselves like bison steaks. I needed to eat them. A stone's throw from September 4th, tall Mudutu trees stood stable against spring gusts, which one usually has to battle with, their bark dark from the long cold. I'd noticed how my father crunched bones and sucked the marrow of a government, how he laughed and talked politics with his mouth filled. I was resolved to be the same. They'd wave a carrot in his face, and he would grab it and whack them with it. He didn't care. He wanted meat, the flesh of human rights bleeding from the sacrificial life of thousands, the freshly cut thew of his son who had begun to grow enough to be as strong as those same trees. Eat and wash it all down with unkomoti, he used to quip. He was serious. He was a cannibal whose vegetables came in bodies of beasts. Thank
Whose
you.
vegetables came in bodies of beasts. That's one way to get your nutrition, brother.
By the way, the siren in the background was a nice touch.
Yeah, I might need to, if I have a second, to close the window.
I didn't mean it that way, but okay.
Okay. Second poem. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And waiting.
My father's killers. They take to the road at midnight and turn toward land that by right we plow and turn. Their dark convoy passes whitewashed houses. There's a brake light and the buggies slow down and turn. They park at right angles to the street to light the yard. It's Daddy's day and turn. They have come on a crisp September night to blight us, make our season change and turn. The moon shimmers its flashlight on a blade, while from a height the planets spin and turn. Thank you.
Thank you.
I might add that that is a true story.
Okay. And can we hear Three's a Charm?
By all means, yes. Floating village. When you observe the fractal structure on the underside of a lily pad, and it makes you leave your rough stance on life, the way a weekend of love does, and clouds which have gathered, but hold off so you may have a chance at success, then you will know that you have discovered a nest of eggs, at the top of whose pile is one made of albumin and gold, an egg cup full of gold and albumin. It takes a floating village to translate human panic into a blessing. Suddenly, it all functions. You smile at somebody who smiles back, the system becoming bigger even as its clouds keep back, refusing to rush the moment. The crazed idea that a platypus can make sense. A gay bloke wielding a rainbow paints a portrait with the times, till out of the blue, he is you, and you are happy in his shoes. Dovetails click into place. Clouds pull back again, fall behind the mesa. And all day long, you hum a song to the tune of the single word, bliss. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Red. Thank you very much. Okay, very nice. We are moving along so well again. So I would like to now bring us back. Well, remain us in Paris for the moment, and call on Mr. Jack Cooper, who may have something to say poetically.
Let's go, Jack. Let's go, Jack.
All right. Well, actually, Mo, you had suggested that maybe I could read some of this novel that I'm working on.
Yes.
Okay, so
we can sing and dance and read. We can sing and dance and stand on our head. So why not read from a novel instead?
Okay, I should give it just one brief introduction. This is an episode where the hero has met a woman of considerable professional accomplishment, and is now with her. And it's very early in the morning. And she has some issues with the way that he has chosen to live his life. So it begins, certainly you can do better than that. They lay together, he now beside her, the greater in so many ways than he, even there, even then, recumbent, having risen to the height of a cocked elbow that lent her pose a quiet simulation of the mythological, semblant plumage. Terry, too, acceded naturally, almost preternaturally, to the greater portion of the grandiose bed, while her free hand stroking his shoulder as a would-be harp. Terry is the woman. Not much had come of it, their brief, late, awkward determination to fulfill the implied premise, then near dawn, of a long night carousing and drinking, and that half-hearted and premature. Through the doubled discomfiture of shut eyelids and intervening layer of gray haze, muffled far below, the words uttered struck the already acoustically thin walls of his skull in chords that crossed cymbal crash with repeated swelling of oboes. Averted eyes opening, turned toward Terry, an apologetic smile distending his lips. We only just met. His voice plaintive, Richard protested. Terry at once sought to rectify his misunderstanding, recognizing immediately that her expression of tender concern might be taken as querulous, too strident, critical, and in this sensitive situation, demeaning, a fact admissible, though for reasons to which she remained oblivious. No, she said, I don't mean that. You only need to get a good night's sleep. Coquettish fingers, ceasing strumming, crept beneath the plump coverlet, fondling him purposefully. I mean how you live, who you are, what you do, your place in the world, your role in life. A messenger, a mere bicycle messenger. You could be so many things, but you choose to be that. Terry sat up. Richard continued supine, eyes dimly wide, calculating, and not without awe, how many feet above, stepwise, stood between himself and the high ceiling. She punctuated her disbelief with conclusive exclamation, as dismissive as it was summary of disdain. A messenger, a divine messenger, Richard reminded her, his emphasis glib, intended to be only mildly ironic. Whatever, she said. So,
okay. Well, all right. Who's okay? All right.
So it goes on, but that's all.
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear installments.
Yeah.
And how about a second piece?
Oh, okay.
That is very, very good.
What?
It's very good. Thumbs up.
Thank you. Yes.
If
okay.
Benedicta agrees, you're in, baby.
All right. I mean, I've never read prose on here before. Okay, so I do have a piece called Unhappening. Unhappening. I need to feel that disappointment. I can't. It won't. Hope does spring eternal and simply will to will. I must hear no to know not what believe. I can continue anticipating that might never come. Where room is, will still hope confine, possible to break out of, give lie to, and lies everything, truth is not.
Okay. And now, 3 is a charm.
Well, a third. Okay. I haven't had one. Let me only, yes. This is called Liberated. From loneliness, I've turned to light, been shown the way. An oasis calm extends her presence to my feet or fate. Empowered bliss, liberty of happiness, momentarily defined, minute to minute, stretched like lanterns overhead that masquerade as stars. The sensation of myself at large, rather than restrained, allowed to pass from impulse to intent and patience born in content. What gift this is, I can never thank her, only demonstrate the all I have to give. I need this. I need her. It, she, bestows on me the right to say and know I want what I claim.
Claim it,
Bravo,
brother. Claim
Jack.
it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, claim it.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So now I'd like to cross the pond again and go to Brooklyn and call on Prince McNally. Hello, Prince.
Hey, let's go, Prince.
Hey, what's up, guys? 4th of July. Not a holiday that I happily acknowledge. This particular piece actually has nothing to do with the 4th of July, but it kind of addresses how the U.S. came into being a world power, the politics of that in the context of politics and racism. It's called Mushroom Clouds in the Sky. In the wake of the morning sunrise, at 8:16 a.m., August 6, 1945, death would arrive from the bright morning skies of Hiroshima. Death came calling, rapidly descending from the clouds, bearing a sharp whistling sound like the cry of 1,000 American bald eagles soaring through the skies of the rising sun. The world's first atomic bomb delivered courtesy of a B-29 American bomber dubbed the Enola Gay and infamously named after the pilot's mother. The whistling author of death tumbled down like acid rain from an angry sky that day, leaving in its wake an irreparable stain upon the fabric of humanity, for the proverbial genie had been irreversibly released from its bottle, and thus the world would forever be changed. The thunderous impact of the whistling bomb upon the rich Japanese soil swiftly culminated into the shape of a giant mushroom cloud in the sky, relinquishing a dizzying numbness as stunned survivors covered in the colors of blood and soot stumbled blindly in search of their lost equilibrium, wading frantically through the shock waves in the dense black rain of inhumanity which had suddenly befallen them. Intoxicated by the raw stench of burning flesh and toxic gases, brave and compassionate souls searched tirelessly for any signs of life amongst the tons of ruins and charred corpses, blindly brushing past the ash-like matter of countless victims who were instantly incinerated upon the smoldering impact of the bomb. The souls of the dead stood in silent vigil, waiting in the shadows of their human statues, frozen in time, instantaneously be stilled in their final moment of breath, while scattered remains lie floating in the Pacific, some charred so horribly they resembled burnt tree limbs. Amongst the smog of rising chaos, you could hear the scattered cries of women and children, some reacting out of fear and shock, while others were grossly affected by the incredibly sharp ringing in their blood-clogged ears, while their stinging pupils elicited the birth of black, burning tears. Many of the survivors would eventually succumb to their injuries, whether it was radiation poisoning or a host of other diseases caused by the bombing like lung cancer, kidney failure, etc., etc. In addition, the offspring of many a survivor would arrive stillborn from their mother's womb, while countless others were plagued by the horror of giving birth to children with debilitating birth defects as a direct result of radiation poisoning passed genetically through the child's parents. Sadly, the recyclable after effects of that horrendous bomb would continue to pass on from generation to generation for decades to come. It is important to remember that those were not just soldiers the Americans bombed that fateful day. The overwhelming majority of the victims were innocent civilians, consisting of mostly women, children, and the elderly, many of which were poor field workers, store merchants, farmers, and school children who had no cause in this war. For they were merely pawns, the collateral damage of political indifference, not even an afterthought in the crazy, diabolical mind of a bigoted, racist American president whose heart was clearly devoid of the most basic components of human kindness and decency. The war was practically over. The American and Japanese governments were in the midst of negotiating Japan's terms of surrender, their greatest concern being the Japanese didn't wish to see their beloved emperor tried for war crimes, shamed or dishonored in the eyes of the Japanese people and the world at large. They merely wished to ensure their beloved emperor's utmost honor and dignity upon Japan's imminent surrender. However, despite the ongoing negotiations, it would appear President Truman had a hidden agenda for what better opportunity to demonstrate to the world the superior military might of the United States of America than by showcasing the greatest military weapon ever known to mankind. Truman's master plan was to end the war quickly by unleashing the atom bomb upon the Japanese people rather than end it peacefully through negotiation. He decided instead to use innocent civilians as political pawns, as human guinea pigs to test his prized weapon in an actual war situation, a desperate attempt to rapidly swing the balance of world power in favor of the United States of America. For this was America's greatest opportunity to leverage her position as the premier world power. Through this treacherously heinous and cowardly act, America was sending a message, placing the world on notice to either fall in line or suffer the same consequences. Not only was this an inhuman act, this was a war crime. a lab experiment, the shameless culmination of an arms race between Russia, Germany, and the United States. This was ethnic cleansing. This was a genocide of epic proportions. This was a blatant attempt to wipe an entire country off the face of the earth as if casually wiping crumbs from a table, taking out the trash, or stomping them dead like roaches. In an old World War II propaganda film, a high-ranking American officer was being interviewed after a fierce and bloody battle against Japanese soldiers to take a hill. To paraphrase, he said something to the effect of, "You've got to admire those Japs. No matter what we throw at them, they just keep coming at you like roaches." He quite casually referred to a group of people as roaches, something filthy, something non-human, something you could easily drop an atomic bomb on without ever having to feel an ounce of remorse, because they're only roaches, and everybody hates roaches, right? I'll end it there.
Yes. And as take this the way you wish, but the other thing is, I'm convinced of what people have said. The reason why the United States decided to drop the A bomb, because Germany had already surrendered, so they were in no position in the arms race. Neither were the Japanese. The Americans dropped the A bomb as a warning to the Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
And in that warning, they felt that they could sacrifice Asian lives to show their military might,
Yes,
and not drop that bomb in Europe.
yes.
And I believe in that assertion because, well, documents have been released from the Truman administration. Okay.
Well, I mean, when you consider the fact that they had Japanese American citizens in concentration camps and German American citizens were walking around free.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so these wars are going on simultaneously. So I just, it was quite clear to me, like, okay, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
We're,
Right. Right. It was two different worlds because the Japanese Americans clearly are documented as being very patriotic, as were Italian Americans, knowing that some of them were going to get drafted or enlisted and fight fellow Italians who were allied in the fascist cause. And that also happened. And if you read the memoirs of Italian American author Gay Talisi, they like to call him Talisi, he says in his Italian American, "We had the same dilemma too. Papa, we're going to Italy and shoot other Italians. They don't have a dime, we don't have a dime, but they're fascists. So we sign up and we go." So that can be included in this as well. Do you have another piece for us?
I'm good for now.
Okay. We'll sit on it for a while, rest on it, and come back in the second round. And allow me, everybody, to say holler out to Claire Andriani. Hello, Claire.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Would like to see your face. I'm so nosy. I'd like to see your face.
You want to see my face?
Show us your pretty face, Claire.
Come on. But when I do that, the camera goes on and off by itself. Wait.
Well, then you look like you're into special effects, and we can dig that.
Okay.
We also have Caroline Angela.
Right, okay. All right. And thank you, Claire. And next we want to move to your right on my screen to another Parisian poet and storyteller, Caroline. Hello, Caroline Adler. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Caroline.
How are you all?
Good to see you back. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Busy
So,
last weeks.
yeah. Well, so long as you bring a note from your mother saying why you were absent, you can be allowed back in the room. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to carry on and move on with the next person in line here, who is hailing from Ghana. And this is Benedicta. Hello, Benedicta.
Hi, Moi.
Hi, Benedicta.
Hi, hi. Is
So
my sound clear?
I'm glad you have good weather tonight. You have a clear signal.
It seems so.
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, I read, just as you are, you unravel the pinnacles of outwardness. Manipulated by his touch, he unearths the pulses of life in abundance, proven hazes of life with fades of an arcade. Yielded in momentum, nostalgic, he says my name. That's the first one.
All right. Are you happy that he sings your name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. All right, number two, please. Number two, please.
Okay, number two is a haiku, so it's short. A distinct ornament, priceless, sought after, the silent jade of patches and mends. That's the second one.
Oh, okay. Wow, that was quick. Read that again, slow.
Okay, I take it again.
Slowly.
A distinct ornament, priceless, sought after, the silent jade of patches and mends. I hope it's okay.
Yeah, it was okay. Take a while for me to absorb that. That's deep. That's brief and deep. And number three is a charm, Benedicta.
Okay, I'm taking this one for my blog, so hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So this one is caption trapped. Am I good to go?
Yes, you are.
A glimpse of fixation, caught in the neck of time, confined spaces with breathless holds and canisters, a mirrored lift, an opaque anticipation of the next step, rapid thinking in a mirage, the teasers of indecisions, tension and nerves, racing hours of uncertainty, the size and sensation of feeling trapped, a breakout from a conserved hideout. That's about it.
That is autobiographical, huh?
Yep.
Yep.
It is.
Oh, yes, it is. Well, okay. That was very nice. I'm glad your
Thank
signal's
you.
coming through. And I noticed that when you present for us in Angora, and now you're being published in publications that are relating to Angora. By the way, there are a growing number of publications that Angora poets are getting published in because their yes people have participated with us. So we're glad to serve as an outlet for other pages. And you always seem to write very briefly. Tell me briefly. I try to write briefly. I don't write haikus, but I think the briefest I could write might be the most honest I could ever write. I know I'm clever. I know I have language skills, but there are times when I just want to cut the symphonic background shit and hone it right down. And you write very briefly. Will you continue to do so?
Certainly.
What moves you to write so briefly, Benedicta?
Oh, sometimes what the thoughts that come into my mind is what I write. So maybe I might be at work and I'll get a 3-line and I'll just jot it down. Mm-hmm. So that is how I do my writing.
Okay.
Sometimes it just comes through my thoughts, and whatever comes through my thoughts, I'm able to join the words together and I get my poem right out.
You sure do. Okay, you sure do. Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And now I'd like to welcome aboard our co-host and tech man for Angora, coming from the UAE in another part of our world, Mohammed. Hey, Mo.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be on board. I'll be reading two original pieces and then one piece off another poet. The first one is something that came out of a small writing workshop that me and my poetry friends were doing, and I just expanded it to a full-fledged poem. The vacuum cleaner screams from the living room, as loud as what passes for conversation on Fox News. There's a lady on Facebook miming a reaction to a video. Guess she thinks the audience has the IQ of a toothbrush. My hair looks like a mop fight, a fishing net that popped out of some white guy's toaster. Somebody called a Navy SEAL in. I'm declaring war on dandruff. The piano's flipped to the side like a yoga instructor with bad posture. Apparently not in the mood for namaste or music theory. The radio plays an auto-tune salad and calls it the latest hit. Social media is trending with obituaries. Everybody's mourning the loss of Kim's expired nail polish. BLM's called anti-Semitic for solidarity with Palestinians. Somebody call the anthropologist and tell him Arabs aren't Semite. We all know Z's winning the monopoly for victimhood. Candace says Floyd shouldn't be a martyr because of his past. But I guess a misogynist can run for president. They say black on black crime is on the rise. All hail a culture that glorifies thugs. But Columbus, Preston, Marshall, and Forrest of the KKK get to have monuments, though. Citizens are protesting against the mask apocalypse. Death is a small price to pay for comfortable skin. Let's just say natural selection's got a weird sense of humor. Soon, celebrities will be getting paid top dollar to tell us to vote at the slot machines. Everybody's going to turn expert at statistics and read the ones that match the sound of their voice. Preach educated guesses with a tone so woke the coffee beans lose their odor. So woke that they put this poem to sleep.
Ooh, all right. Yeah. Okay. Was it Kim's expired nail polish?
Yeah.
You nailed it, man. You nailed it. All right. Okay, that's your number two, Mo.
All right. So this one's a short one. Between nicotine and cocaine.
That part also got me thinking.
Okay.
Just a minute, Benedicta. We're going to let Mo speak now.
Okay. So, between nicotine and cocaine, ego is one hell of a drug. Nostalgia hangs over your shoulder like a dream you insist is real. In front of a jury made of trauma and a judge...
Okay. Benedicta, dear, you're going to have to mute yourself. Please. Let's see that mute. No. Oh, well, that was a mute. She turned herself off.
Okay.
I swear, that woman got a mind of her own. And you'll have to excuse, Benedicta will say anything at any time. Okay, back to you, Mo, to start. Okay, thank you, Benedicta. And back to Mo to begin again his second poem.
Between nicotine and cocaine, ego is one hell of a drug. Nostalgia hangs over your shoulder like a dream you insist is real. In front of a jury made of trauma and a judge with an existential crisis. You evolve into a regressing roller coaster, a sponge for data, an Eden for spies. They'll call your fleeting privacy a privilege. Do you remember a time when you appreciated the quiet? When your diet excluded a digital opinion on politics? When Facebook wasn't there to inspire social cannibalism? People asked for phone numbers then. Sometimes just asked about you.
All right.
Yeah.
When the world was more simple.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And number 3 is a charm there. You're on it, Mo.
Okay. So this poem is by a very prolific poet, and his name is Clint Smith. Very, very powerful voice, and a national slam I believe he's a slam champion in the United States, a national slam champion. In this piece, this piece was a reflection of his when he was given a workshop for inmates, writing workshops, and he was surprised by the how educated they were, and how these amazing human beings that were being forgotten by society, that he had interacted with, and so this was a piece that he dedicated to them. The air is thick with ambivalence, the residue of those forgotten and pushed away. A watchtower too certain of its own authority. The slow grating of a mechanical door granting one passage in and out of the yard. The dull gray of clothing rendering life invisible against a backdrop of concrete walls. Barbed wire coils itself precariously around the edges of the prison. It can be difficult to tell what they are trying to keep in and what they're trying to keep out. Chain-linked fences standing upright as soldiers do. Only what they are told, only what they have conditioned themselves for, only what they have convinced themselves they have been built for. But is anything built for what it ultimately becomes? Stripped of any agency it might have had when the steel was melded into a false deity, a pretense of human control, did it dream of what else it could have been? The wheels of a child's first bicycle, the monkey bars from which they would swing to and fro, the car a family drives on cross-country road trip filled with laughter and fighting and spilled ketchup across the floor. When did it learn it was to become a cage? And how can a cage become a refuge? A circle of men swallowed by the world's indifference, where the totality of their personhood has been diluted to a single act that they have become singularly defined by the worst thing they've ever done. We don't remember they are brothers, husbands, fathers, friends. We don't remember that they are people worth remembering, but the writing is a declaration of all that makes them whole. A classroom of men who refuse to forget themselves. Each word provides the sort of liberation a parole board can never grant. So often they write about their family, their children, how they want them to remember. Their father as a man whose laugh would turn a room into a festival of rapture, how he would read them stories before they fell asleep to a world that didn't always make sense, but always made sense in his arms. It's the sort of thing that reminds them that they once existed beyond this place, that they still do.
That's
very,
quite
very
a poem.
nice. All right. Uh, uh, once where they used to existed, and they still do.
Mo, what's
Yes.
your name? Clint?
Yeah, his name is Clint Smith.
Clint Smith.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's he from?
It's not bad at all.
He
Is he American or what?
oh, he's American. Yeah, I think he's from New Orleans actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's from New Orleans.
Good. All right. Well, thank you, Mo. And thank you. I want to mention to you, a few of you who may not know, Mo has been the tech man on this Zoom series, and therefore is a vital, the very, very necessary co-host. I do some of the talking. He pushes the button.
He talks too.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Okay, so now, now that we have returned to us after a little bit of an absence, where'd she go? Caroline, are you there? Yes, you are. I see you. Hi, we welcome you to present.
Well, I'm gonna read something. It's in French, and it's about the trees in the mountain in Pays Basque country, but in Spanish side, which are cutted by people just to make money with pines, and they are cutting. I think it's in English. It must be oaks, les chênes, and hêtre. I don't know how to say it in English. And they are
Shan is
cutting
oak. Yeah.
They're beech trees.
peach trees.
Beech, yeah.
They're cutting all of them in some parts of Basque country, and now they are speaking about making a wood fabric in the center of Pyrenees, and the old mountains are in danger. And also it would be a very huge fabric, so it's there.
By fabric,
Also,
you mean?
center of France, trees are in danger. So I'm gonna read something about trees in Basque country.
Okay, and by fabric, to make or factory is what she means by
It's
fabric.
there. It's it's saying in Syrie. They are making cutting the trees and sending the wood away.
Okay.
Is it like timber?
Yes, it's yeah.
Like they're using a chainsaw to cut the trees down in a form of timber. Something of that sort.
Yeah, it's called logging in English. They are logging.
Okay,
so here we go, Caroline.
So that's it. Ce cœur au coin de l'Europe. J'ai travaillé des années dans un théâtre, comme fond d'écran à mon ordinateur, les vertes, moutonnantes collines basques, douceur et poésie. Une image, toujours ça de prix. Des années ont passé, un printemps. Enfin, je prends le train. Direction Hendaye, premier passage de la frontière comme espagnol pour aller au Pays basque. Pays du cœur, un ailleurs, autrement. Biscaye, pays des hommes libres. Le chêne de Guernica, le lapin de montagne, des montagnes dont naissent les nuages. Au Pays basque, j'ai escaladé une montagne. J'ai rencontré des hêtres et mon ami m'a présenté des chênes. J'ai écouté murmurer la montagne, blottie entre ses bras. J'ai ouvert les yeux et elle m'a révélé son cœur. Elle m'a raconté des histoires, une vierge dans un buisson d'épines, une église bâtie par des artistes sur les murs de laquelle nage une baleine. Mais dans ce pays source de mythes, aux hommes amoureux de leurs arbres, j'ai vu des flèches de pin noir grignoter les flancs de collines. Le vert moutonnant des forêts, terreau fertile aux contes et légendes, cédait la place devant l'acide profit, et j'ai pleuré face au désastre paysager. J'ai eu mal en mon âme, en mon cœur, en ma chair même, tellement l'affront faisait peine à voir, tellement, trop. Comment aider? Ce pays qui tant d'années m'a soutenu en songe dans des forêts duquel il m'a semblé pouvoir croiser les personnages de mes contes au paysage si semblable à mon intime. Le pays d'où naissent les rêves, un petit cœur au coin de l'Europe, à la langue d'arbres et de roches, et aux montagnes géantes aux racines si profondes. Un Himalaya européen en souterrain, comme un iceberg nuageux. Je m'y suis promenée comme dans un rêve, m'éveillant à la vie, à nouveau, et pleurant. Moas disappear. So,
Well, I'm here. I was listening to you in the kitchen, and that was very good. And yeah, I was listening to you in the kitchen. My dog was calling for water.
Oh,
and when my
very
dog
important.
calls for water, my dog gets water. Okay. Anyway, what you remind me of is something I've said in the past that used to, in the past, would frequently get frowned upon, but lately doesn't seem to get so frowned upon, which was reflected in the piece you wrote, which is the earliest and most ancient fundamental role of the poet was to speak to a people about the quality of life or the absence of quality of life. Yes. Poet was sage, poet was griot, poet was teacher, and poet would talk shit on what was going on with wars or with agriculture or with their very own leaders, with their king. That's all it reminds me of. Okay, so do you have another piece for us?
Yes, I've got a second piece if you want. It's about nature also, because I founded them in the same dossier about nature.
Okay.
It's called Humanicide. It's very positive. It's for the first round. After I try to find something most romantic. So it's in French also. J'aurais aimé avoir un enfant quand j'avais 17 ans. J'écoutais Pas du gâteau de Mano Solo en me disant que pourquoi pas. C'était avant, il y a 23 ans. Dans 23 ans, il restera 7 ans à survivre à l'humanité aux quelques survivants, chiffres optimistes de l'ONU. Je crois que c'est le bon moment pour passer du temps avec les personnes que j'aime. Faire le tour de France à pied pour pas polluer, prendre le temps de kiffer la vie à une petite échelle peinarde, me mettre au vert, aller nager dans ce qui reste de Gulf Stream en espérant pas trop de plastique ni d'invasion de méduses ou d'algues toxiques. Faire ce que j'ai envie de faire avant de crever et à petite échelle, sans paquebot ni avion. Ça suffit. C'est dépassé. Bientôt préhistorique. Un jour, très bientôt, plus tôt que ce que j'ai déjà vécu, plus aucun être vivant ne sera capable de comprendre ce que j'écris, ni ce que je dis. Si j'enregistre ma voix sur un CD, il n'y aura plus personne pour l'écouter. Heureusement, la technologie est à obsolescence programmée. Elle ne nous survivra pas longtemps. Les fermetures d'hôpitaux, les psychotropes à haute dose à une grande partie de la population, la baisse des budgets éducatifs investissant sur l'avenir, autant de signes que tout le pays est en train de passer en soins palliatifs, progressivement, à la manière de ma grenouille dans la casserole, de la grenouille dans la casserole. Je n'aurai pas d'enfant. Je ne ferai pas d'enfant pour le regarder se faire assassiner par le capitalisme devenu fou. Ça fait bien assez mal de voir des enfants autour de moi et me dire qu'ils n'auront jamais mon âge, même pas celui du Christ. Jeanne Calment, Daniel Darieux, dinosaures. La nouvelle tendance, celle de la génération qui arrive d'ici 3 ans, c'est Janice, Jim, Jimmy ou Lucie, pas celle dans le ciel avec des diamants, la première, l'Australopithèque, morte à 25 ans. Nous avons été sacrifiés sur l'autel de profits qu'ils n'emporteront même pas avec eux. Et si nous portions tous plainte pour écocide, pour humanicide?
Wow. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, do you have a three's a charm, or do we wait for the second round? What is your call?
I can read you a small, not so small, but a poem about. C'est un poème de Margaret Atwood. It's a
Margaret
Margaret
Atwood.
Atwood poem from La Porte, from the door. But I've got it in French just next to me.
Yeah.
And I can find the original version for the second round if you want.
You know, it would be good if you read both versions together in the second round, because then we can directly connect to Miss Atwood's sentiment in both
Okay.
languages. Could you do that? Since it is bilingual. Yeah. Okay, so do you have a piece for us as a charm?
I can find something. It's about very small poems about birds.
Birds are cool.
Birds at about 7 o'clock in the morning. Côté cour. Dans la cour endormie, un piou chip 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 à bec déployé. À moins que ce ne soit un gosse qui secoue un appôt. Les branches de bouleau blanchoient dans la nuit. Un tapis doré parsème la pelouse noire d'ombre. Le soleil va bientôt se lever. Côté rue, perché sur la grille du balcon, Méchoui et Brochette font un somme, en attendant de reprendre leur roucoulade, parade amoureuse d'automne, avant leur nid d'hiver, aux œufs clairs. Un jour démoli, le lendemain reconstruit. Dans le ciel, par-dessus le toit, les nuages masquent Orion et sa ceinture en suspension.
Okay.
I like the way she made the sound.
You muted you.
No, I would have said thank you very much. Here's to the birds. Bird is the word. All right.
I said I like the way she made the sound.
You like that?
That chip, chip, chip.
Yeah.
It's like birds chirping.
That
was nice.
Charming as always.
During this pandemic, you know, we had 8 weeks of pretty close to total lockdown. Now, we were allowed to leave for an hour with a dog. So I'd be walking my dog, right? Of course. Well, I would get up real early. Uncharacteristic, I would wake up real early because I ain't done shit the day before because I'm on lockdown. Okay, because there's only so much Netflix I can take, you know. And so dig this. I had such a beautiful reconnection to nature, even in the heart of Paris. We could hear the birds in the morning quite distinctly. They did their chirps didn't pierce through the sounds of cars and the roar of the city. We could hear them, and it was pristine. It was very pristine. So that was my experience. I loving them birds. All right. So we'll see the second round.
Sometimes they are too loud.
Huh?
I said sometimes too they are too loud.
Oh, not around here. Are they loud where you live, Benedicta?
Very.
What kind of birds do you have around you that are so loud?
There's a woodpecker.
Ah.
They're loud, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pristine is the word, Mo. Pristine is the word.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, now we're going to move on. We're going to move on with Miss Claire Andriani. Hello, Claire. Hi. Unmute yourself, darling.
Hey, I'm here.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I have a poem, and it's Ash. It's talking about. I mean, it's my it's my
Okay,
feeling about.
don't
Yeah,
touch the wires because it distorts the voice transmission.
I'm not touching the wires.
Okay,
Oh shit. You can't hear me?
very well now.
Okay. So the poem is called Ash Ash, and it's about my impression about these times with the pandemic and everything that is happening. Here it goes. Ash Ash, the masks yelled. Don't say your frustration. Your gate to hell is unopened and looks at others from above, from staring eyes looking like hell, that say, help. My body is in danger. My body and my breath. My own tongue is a victim and a betrayer, exposed to strangers. A snake with two heads, both stinging the inside and the outside at the same time. The other and the self, both enemies and friends, complaining about the same ill, a disease of breath. A grey cloud of uncertainty, polluting the air and hearts, the same. Though it has no name, its breathless quality reflects the impossible times we are facing. The other and the self, both friends and enemies, contaminated with the same ill, exposed to the same fear, the one of being alive. No matter what color you are, beyond the skies and scars, the privilege of breathing, the suspicious love for danger, one that becomes a right. No matter what your color, no matter what you are, your age, your beliefs, your scars, no matter where you are, the privilege of living.
Yeah, okay.
That's one.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
The
Because
privilege of living.
yeah,
It's good.
there's a focus on something that underlies humanity despite all the conflict going on.
Yeah.
Breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the privilege of breath. Rhett talks about that quite often in his poetry as well. Okay, do you have another one for us?
Yes, I have a short one in English and then a third one in French. So this one is called How It Feels to Sing. In this room, a chorus emanates from the instrument of mystery. Though invisible, it grasps all the energy of the room, masked, advanced at the top of our head and forms an empty yellow space, sometimes yellow, sometimes blue, but always towards the fullness of your head like a halo, black in the shadow of the forest. Clasp your hands and sing it, the melody of your heart. That's my second one.
Yeah. Here's another one. Pop psychology says that many of us hear music in color, and you mentioned 3 colors there.
Yeah, it's true.
They say it's a common trait among people to hear music in colors and to hear language in color.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's true. It's a form of diversional therapy.
Yes, I remember hearing that Laura Nero, the singer, that in a session she asked her musicians for an orange sound. They were,
That's great.
yeah, they were baffled, but they found a way to give it to her.
Okay, all right. Do you have a third one? Do you have a charm for us, Claire?
Yeah, in French this time. It's just a scene that I witnessed of a chair and a child. And again, there's a mention of colors in the first line. So, la chaise et l'enfant. Les éclairs de couleurs surgissent de nulle part, alors que la vie semblante éclate au creux de la nuit. Du mouvement incessant des troubadours, grillés à minuit, les battements de tambour font sourire l'enfant assis là, près d'une chaise aussi innocente que le jour, faite tout de bois et souriant gaiement aux passants. Le vent de l'autre saison la fait tomber, et un autre enfant vient la ramasser. Le petit enfant, dans chacun d'entre nous, a besoin de soleil pour pousser. That's my third one.
Yay. All right. Okay.
Perfecto.
Do you approve of that, Benedicta? All right. You've got Benedicta's seal of approval. All right.
Definitely.
That's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
guys, I just wanted to say that I'm leaving right now, but it was really an honor to listen to you as always, and I look forward to hearing you guys next week.
Will we?
As usual.
Well, what? Okay, so you're gonna leave us turned on, right? You're gonna leave me as host.
I already made you as host. Don't worry.
Okay, well, I feel honored. I tell you, let me button my shirt. I would have shaved if I'd have known I would have shaved.
For those who don't know, a little context. Last time I tried to leave early, and forgetting that I was the host of the room, I successfully everyone. Unfortunately. And unwittingly, I had booted everyone out, and I was just on a frenzy trying to get everybody back in, and it was a miracle that we managed it, Mo. But
yeah, we did. We got most people back in.
Yeah.
All
right, guys. I'll take care, everybody. Take care.
Bye, Mo.
Bye.
Have a good night, Mo.